Ruck'n Maul time for this week, and for the first time in 19 years, die-hard New South Wales supporter Greg Growden can be smiling because they got over the line, albeit only just, but it was a fantastic performance all round.
It was. I was there. I went on the tar train. It was an experience, and it was a great moment. Great night, one of the great nights in Australian rugby, and apart from Waratahs winning, it was a spectacular game. It was
a terrific game. All credit to the Waratahs. They got out of the gates and had a 14-point lead. The Crusaders came back. Richie McCaw giving the final penalty. You couldn't have written the script with Bernard Foley, and I'm still yet to see the close-up, but I reckon if it was more than a foot over that crossbar, I'd be very surprised.
Well, out there, I honestly thought it was short, because we all thought we saw...
Well, they didn't see the touchdown.
No, I honestly thought it's gone. It was gone, and then suddenly there was the excitement. But the great thing about it was that being out there, and it was a genuine Waratah home crowd. There was 95% Waratah supporters. I thought there'd be a lot of New Zealanders there. Strangely, they weren't, or... in one of the very few occasions, they were very, very quiet.
And what has it done to the Waratah coffers, given the fact that the gate goes into the piggy bank? They haven't re-signed Checker, but that's obviously high on their priority list.
Well, they might be able to use the money they've gained. I've heard it's probably worth about $2 million to them. They might use that to pop up their offer. At the moment, negotiations are continuing with Michael Checker. He's getting calls from everywhere, but I've got the feeling that after that, I think he'd want to stick around and be part of it next year. It's just
Speaking of sticking around, what about Kurtley Beale at the Civic reception? He said, "I love these blokes. It was fantastic. I don't think I could go anywhere else." But I didn't actually hear him say, "I've signed. I'm not going anywhere."
He said, "But
I'll leave it up to the manager."
Well, still the point is NRL is still very, very strong. But I've got a feeling that if he does go somewhere, the money is overseas.
Yes.
And he's seen what's happened to a lot of Australian players in France. Good money, good lifestyle. And I've got a feeling if it does happen, I'd plump more for the south of France.
He's going to be under more scrutiny and spotlight in Sydney at the Bulldogs, say, than he would be in French rugby.
Exactly.
He'd be lying on a beach, not given a fat rat's.
Exactly. And all we'll see was the highlights. See, gee, Kurtley Beale's playing well. Whereas he'd be under scrutiny every day, particularly the rugby league media will just focus on him and make it into an enormous issue.
The other thing that is big now is the injury, of course, to Dan Carter leading into the Bledisloe Cup. Nobody likes to see a superstar injured, but it's almost as good as a win for Australia if Dan Carter's not. Having said that, the replacements are
Colin
plenty.
Slade. Colin Slade played so well.
Drilled it.
And that's the big difference. In New Zealand, one guy like Daniel, say if an equivalent Daniel Carter disappeared here, it'd be disaster, but they've got a factory line of good players there. So he will still be a big loss. And his disappearance of that game was crucial on Saturday. It was a crucial moment, 20-25 minutes, and you thought, well, if the Waratahs can't take advantage now, they never will.
And the other thing that has come out of it is the boost to ticket sales for the Bledisloe Cup in a couple of weeks' time. The Wallabies are doing a bit of a country tour to Orange and Bathurst. The All Blacks hunkered down in New Zealand, and it now starts to build up, and maybe rugby can reclaim some of its lost form in terms of crowd and also interest from a media perspective.
Exactly, particularly as the Bledisloe Cup is on at the same venue in less than a fortnight's time. You are right. At last, we're seeing rugby back on the front pages, primarily because of the Waratahs, and it's now time for the Wallabies to really build the momentum and take advantage of it. Admittedly, it's a different beast, the Wallabies to the Waratahs. They won't play the same type of expansive game. It will be far more limited, but still there's enough players in that Waratahs lineup who now think, we can actually beat these blokes. And that's crucial. That was an enormous psychological gain, because I know the New Zealanders say, mate, the Super Rugby doesn't mean anything to Bledisloe Cup. No, but it does have an impact.
It does indeed. And the hero of the week, and we always talk about people who've done well, could have been Checker, could have been Bernard Foley, even Adam Ashley Cooper.
Tarman.
But the bloke who had the shirt that said, "I'm not an alcoholic, I just drink when Richie McCaw's offside," got it 100% right. Fitzy said it on Saturday and was proven right on Saturday night.